All right, this is the second flight of the day, and I've made some changes. One is later in the afternoon. My glasses are not so dark. I can actually see the iPad mini here. This film started off with me already in the air, and I've made some adjustments to the camera so the movement is a little bit smoother. Going up to about 200 feet here, just shy of 200 feet. I'll go up a little bit more. I'm also in manual exposure mode. Now you'll see during the film here, the recording here, that I change exposure a few times using the dial on the controller. Because right now I think I'm probably a little bit underexposed, but we're going to go with that. This is a fairly short video, only about 7 minutes or so. As I come up to the trail here, I'm making sure that the exposure, I don't know what I'm making sure. I'm checking the exposure, or I'm checking the line up, making sure I'm high enough, doing a few things that I'm checking. And I know as I get up to the curve in this thing, and this again is a trail that I walk, actually where I come in the trail, as I get up to this curve, I'm going to pause for a second. There's a little bit of, not an island, but a little isolated area around this creek where you can see a little patch of land without trees there. Often around this time of day, which is, 6 o'clock at night or so, there's a group of deer, anywhere from 5 to 9 or more, that'll hang out right there and eat. There must be something over there they like. Tonight, I didn't see any. I was filming this right after I got back from a walk. I didn't see any when I went out or came back, or now when I'm looking at it here. But I'm going to follow the trail for a little bit, and right there I've upped the exposure. It's real nice on the dial, you can do that, but it is noticeable as you're recording. So more than likely you'd want to get that right. It was right when I started. It just, I guess the scenery changed, and it started getting a little bit too underexposed. That bridge goes off to the right. I do sometimes go that way on the trail. It's a good, nice walk that way. Going here to the left is where I generally go. One of the reasons is it's not as hilly. It's fairly flat. And at my halfway point, there's a restroom, which I like to do that. It would not be nice to have to use the restroom in the woods where people could see you. So that's not a thing to do. All right, so I just follow the trail here a little bit. As you can see, the camera movement is a little bit smoother. As I move around, I am trying to go a little bit slower, although I do get the speed. I change up the speed a little bit as we go on with this. Getting around 200 feet, there's a tree I think that's going to come up later on that I start to worry might not be quite tall enough, so I do go up just a little bit. This section of the trail, there's right now no one on it. When I came back, there was no one on this section. It was a chilly day for down here in the Atlanta area, and a nice breeze. You can't tell too well with this footage because the Mavic is so good about being stable, but it was a good 10 to 15 mile an hour with gusts higher than that. But the Mavic was doing pretty good. It was a chilly walk, I will say that. So the creek continues to run. The trail kind of runs right near the creek, and you can see, like right there, you can see a little bit of the creek. This area will flood if it rains hard enough for a short amount of time. This is a major highway going through our city, and the trail goes underneath it and then continues on, which is where I go. Or going to the right there, goes into what we call Suwanee Town Center. I just changed the exposure again. And as I pan over, you'll see a little curved building that's a little bit taller than the others with a tower on it. That is Suwanee City Hall. Over that way, there's must be a cell phone tower out there too. And I do pan across here pretty fast. There's those power lines that I hate. There's a trail, looking back at the trail. And in just a second, I'm going to, there I am. I see the elementary school. And I know that I'm over in that area, so I'm going to head back over that way, flying over another section of our neighborhood. I think I might change the exposure here again. I was looking at the controller, the iPad mini, and it would tell you whether your exposure is, plus or minus. And I was using that as my gauge to change the exposure to try and keep it around 0. Probably didn't need to right there. I probably could have left it alone because this does look a little dark for me in post. As I come up, you'll see the parking lot where I took the earlier film and my truck right there in the same spot. I did leave and come back, but I do like to park in that spot. It's right convenient for where I come down to go start my walk. And there goes a bird. And you can't see me, but by those trees in the lower right, oh, there you go. I'm sitting on a bench. Right about now, actually, the school alarm goes off. And I know that the cops aren't quick to respond, but they will get here. And I want to get out of here because I don't want them talking. I didn't do anything wrong, but I don't want them talking to me and telling me not to fly my drone around here so that later when I actually do, I get in trouble. This way, if they never say anything to me, there's never an issue. Anyway, I'm coming in for our landing, trying to get it down here. I did not do the return to home. I wanted to do this one manually. And that's pretty much it. Until next time, I gotta say, I do like flying with the manual recording, manual exposure. That's much better. I just needed not do as many changes. And I do like some of the camera controls that they seem a little bit smoother. I still got to control the speed of it and the panning and everything. That's me looking back to make sure cops aren't coming. And you wouldn't know from this photo, but I have lost almost 50 pounds so far. Anyway, a lot more to go. All right. That's it for this time. Thanks for watching.